Welcome back to another one of my videos. Uh, so over these last couple of days of not uploading, I was able to take a trip to one of our local flea markets, and they were selling comic books. I was able to land 3 boxes of uh, what I think are good titles, a mix of different type of comic books from Marvel, Charlton Comics, DC, Image, Valiant, and I was able to even score a Prince comic book. I was able to get my hands on The Mask. Some really, I think, are really classy, really well-known titles. Some of them not so much. Um, but today I wanted to kind of showcase that to you guys. That's kind of like the direction I want to start with, especially um, knowing that the comic book demographic, the collection or the collector side of things of um, those types of areas are still kind of not really spoken about a whole lot. Or maybe I'm just not watching the right YouTube channels. But for now, I want to dive straight into a mix of what I pulled out were 22 comics and kind of showcase them, get some of the artwork showed, um, talk about the condition. I haven't done a lot of research as far as pricing is concerned, but I'm hoping that I can receive just a little bit of help in the comment section as far as if someone were to watch the video and say, you know what, you got yourself a really good issue here, um, that would help me, and that would go a long way for me. I have done about, I think it's like 24 comics so far that are that I've already kind of price checked and kind of ran the numbers on. Not expecting a lot, just the ones that are really high in value is probably something that I would look into. And if it's something that I want to hold on to or keep to myself, um, I wouldn't be afraid to do so. But let's jump right into it. Let's showcase some of them. So this one is Ghost Rider issue number 33. Um, the artwork is spot on, especially for the fact that it doesn't have its official sleeve. This is some of the back of the comic that is, um, I think, is pretty cool. We got some of the artwork inside. Definitely no water damage. Maybe a fold or a crease line that cuts across. You could see it right there. I do know that the condition of the comics are definitely something that is that matters. I know that if there are water stains, folds, uh, if it if it has a little bit of damage, it definitely decreases the value. Um, Also, like ink wear and tear, and those kinds of things, they definitely affect the price. So, like I said, if I do receive at least a little bit of feedback, I'd be able to understand a little bit better of how much that issue is worth. This one is Mephisto versus the Avengers, the 4th issue. Definitely the same kind of aesthetic, beautiful artwork. Um, the artwork is 100% and legible. It is a beautiful, beautiful condition. The back definitely does have a little bit of wear and tear on it, especially just, from overuse of rubbing up against other comic books. Um, that is to be expected, you know. I got G.I. Joe Special Missions issue number 25. We also got issue number 12. So these are both, I know that they're both within the same synchronicity of each other, like as far as um, within the same uh, issue synchronicity. So um, that definitely is exciting and interesting for me, because I still haven't been able to put things in proper order just yet. So it's kind of all over the place, a little bit here and there. This one is Mephisto versus the Fantastic Four. I'm sorry, and this one is issue number 1. So that is, I could tell that this one goes along with the other Mephisto versus the Avengers. Showcase a little bit of the artwork. Definitely fantastic bind on it. And yeah, the artwork is just spot on. I mean, you could see the colors, they pop. So absolutely something that is intriguing. Let's see. Did I have another one of these ones? There's another. Yeah. Okay. So let's do G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero. Definitely a different. Well, I can't say if it's different issue synchronicity, but this one is issue number 52. And like I said, I might not be as comic book literate as I should be, but I do know that over the events of a couple years, or hopefully 4 to 5, considering that some people dedicate their whole lives to comic books, I'm hoping to really pick up that good momentum. And when that happens, I'm able to kind of be like, oh, so this is, this issue, this is where someone or another thing builds up to someone else dying. Don't want to spoil the comic books, but I just know that some of these issues are coveted for a certain specific storyline that they go with. I got Fantastic Four issue 265. Definitely in really, really good condition. I think that some of these older comic books were definitely taken really good care of. Other issues, like for instance the Ghost Rider issue, a little bit of that bend definitely takes it out, and it's on every single page that bend or that crease is there. Doesn't really hurt my feelings. I know that some of these comic books are definitely going to be dropped in value, especially if they got that kind of wear and tear on them, or something just doesn't look right. I can't expect every comic book to be a hit piece. But this one is Marvel Age, issue number 66. It definitely showcases a couple of other issues on the back. And this is some of the interior. Definitely a lot different than what I expected. I kind of wish I knew a little bit more about this specific issue. Well, I guess it's kind of in the title. So I guess it's a news magazine. So obviously I didn't really notice that until I looked at it closer, which is pretty nifty now that I look back and look at it Um, yeah, so this one's pretty good, I think. Like I said, I just have to do a little bit more digging. This one is another GI Joe Special Missions. Definitely a lot more water damage to the cover. I don't know if I'm hitting it right, but you could see that up here on the top, near the word special, it definitely has that water damage, and it's formed all the way through the book. And I think you could tell right where it is, especially with the right kind of accurate spot. It's right now, you know. And then obviously there's a little bit of a I keep wanting to call it a like a dog bone, but I don't think it's a dog bone. I keep wanting to go back to electrical, but anyway, other than that, the interior still well intact. Oh yeah, and you could see it all nasty right there. Yeah, yikes. Okay, well let's not continue to showcase the comic that is kind of in its has seen better days. Yeah, let's keep that one. So that one's all Marvel. We're gonna get into Charlton Comics. This one's Ghost Manor issue number 33, and I like the fact that some of the comics you could definitely see the date. So this one was 77. Um, I have a couple of unidentified Marvel comics that don't have the cover page to it. So that's another something that I'll probably showcase as a challenge to see if someone could possibly identify it by the inside of the comic. So yeah, Ghost Manor definitely also seen brighter days. Um, Definitely has a little bit of extra lippage, so the page kind of shoots out of the book, and that's on both sides. Um, I'm still trying to figure out why that's the case, because every page seems to be 100% on the bind. Yeah, and no pages are loose. And I'm trying to take a look. Oh, okay. That's very interesting. I guess that the way that this bind was put together wasn't 100% on the fold. So if you see where like the staple is, the staple catches it at the wrong spot. That's my assumption. I know that I haven't messed with these comics a whole lot. Um, I don't rebind, I don't repurpose, I don't have the money to kind of tidy them up and make it look crisp and clean again. That may have been the way that it came, which is kind of crazy too, because some comics, I don't know, sometimes the errors are different, you know. This one is Eternal Warrior, issue number 5, and then I got another Eternals 14. Both of these are in really good tip-top shape, I would like to assume, from my standpoint. They're not um, they're not really in any kind of damaged state, which is really good. Um, so I don't know how old this card is, but if you just take a look, it has the issue number dated for 1992, which I probably could have also found that out. But I guess it retails up to 50-40 online. Boomerang price $29. I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know if it fluctuated, dropped, decreased, increased. Don't know. So something I'd have to look into. Some of these comics were kind of already pre-priced, but just to make sure that it's up to date with this market, I wanted to hit it one more time and try to see what how much they're worth now today. So this one is Bloodshot number 6. I know that I've looked at this one on the internet, and I'm pretty sure this one didn't look too bad in price. Definitely not like hundreds of thousands. Everyone wants to hear that. Hundreds of thousands, 20,000, 10,000, 12,000. It's something that just sounds so nice because you could just imagine, like, hey, I can't believe I got that in my collection and I bought it for dirt cheap. So it's something that is to kind of spark imagination, you could say. These are the DC comics. So we got Batman Shadow of the Bat, issue number 94. These ones are in the sleeves, so there's not really any chance to pop seal, so I'm not going to pop it. Catwoman issue number 2. The Brave and the Bold issue number 8 with the Flash and Doom. All right. Blackest Night, Tales of the Corps, the first issue of 3. There we go. We got Batman Detective Comics, issue 741. There's that one. Detective Batman, 756. I think that artwork looks sinking crisp, though. I like that. Batman Detective Comics, 783. And then we got Batman Detective Comics 780. Which is also really, really nice and beautiful artwork. I think DC spends a lot of craftsmanship, and I think that Marvel spends a lot of storytelling aesthetic. Could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. I've only read a couple of comics that I have genuinely fell in love with. Some comics I have kind of tried to steer away from because, to me, I feel like continuity is everything. I like continuity. It makes me feel like they spent the time to really bring up their character without diluting it with another person's take on it. And I think that's just personal preference. I think that for me, continuity takes one character from point A and changes their entire life and goes through the events of life, everything that they experience. At some point, they pass away, and there's no resurrections, there's no magic voodoo, there's no, added splice, there's no added something to it. Their story is a complete novel. Now, the thing is, of course, you have to keep into effect that if a superhero has more traction and you're building up their story and they hit their peak and at the end of it they pass away and it's a genuine pass, I think that it makes that whole set of comics that much more valuable because you built out the whole story. Nothing is shifted, nothing is changed, nothing is double backed on. It's a complete novel. And I think that that is a beautiful thing to look at. Than to bring someone back from the dead every single issue just to make it count. Now, everyone has their take, everyone has their spin, everyone has their reasons. I'm not saying that what other comic companies decided to do with their novels is a bad thing. I'm just saying that personal preference for me is if I were to write out a comic, which I currently am. I'm currently working on comics right now on my own. That everything is built around continuity. Everything is going to be 100% focused on making a complete story without tripping over or killing off somebody just to bring them back. It just messes with too much. There is one more novel that I didn't get to showcase, and that was The Blackest Night, number 3 of 8 of DC. And the only reason why I didn't showcase it right away was because I could actually show the artwork. And the artwork, I think, is, honestly, it's crisp. And I think it's definitely clean. I actually flipped to a really good page. I was hoping to find it. I think it could settle for this one, because this one is actually really, really nice. There is one more comic that I was hesitant on showing, but because it's a little different, and it has to be the most intriguing comic that I have ever come across. It is I Love New York. I was able to do a little bit of research on this one. I was able to take a look at the story behind it. Was able to take a look at pricing. From what I've read, these comics were published by Lisner, and Lisner was, and obviously you got your Twin Towers in there. This was meant to, they would publish, they would make these comics, and they would send them to get sold to help with families that were what's the word? What's the word to help? Um, Families who lost people in the 9/11 attack, and I think it has a remarkable story to it. It has to be one of the most intriguing comics that I have come across, especially with how many that I do have. I was able to look at this one and really appreciate for what it stood for. And other than that, I think that's leaving it on a good note. I appreciate you guys for watching this video, for taking the time to kind of sit down and kind of taking a good look at these comic books. And I'm hoping that the next episode I will have a little bit of a different spin on things. Maybe not scenery. Scenery won't change. But I think there will be more to talk about in the next episode. So other than that, we will catch you in the next one. And you guys have a good one. Take care.